What's good? It's JB, and today I wanted to talk about something very important, and that's why you should never be too thirsty to work with anyone. So the reason I had wanted to talk about this topic is because a lot of times producers and even artists sometimes they'll be so thirsty for opportunities and to try to get their dough in the industry that they'll do anything for it. So for example, with producers sometimes they'll be so thirsty to try to get a song with an artist that they be paying for collabs a lot of times. But me personally, I've never in my life paid somebody to work with me. Like, I feel like that's really backwards, to be honest. Like, if you're doing that, you basically just trying to rush the process. And I've never felt like you can just buy relationships. So I'll even give you an example of how it goes sometimes. So let's say that it's a producer that got one song on the Baby album. And somebody else might think that it's a good idea to pay them $200 to work. And that's all it's gonna take for them to get on the Baby album. But it's not as simple as that. You can't just pay somebody to collab with you and think that you finna get a placement. Like, that don't even really make sense. Like, I mean, of course you got some like real case scenarios where somebody ended up getting a collab, but I mean, like, I don't really feel like that really makes sense to be paying for relationships. Like, cause I've never had to pay with nobody to work. I personally feel like your goal as a producer, even if you're upcoming, it shouldn't be to pay everybody to work with you. It should be to get good enough to where people want to work with you. So now you see how paying people to work with you can be backwards. And a lot of times if somebody paying for collabs, they basically trying to force their way in and skip the process. That'd be like if somebody had went and got surgery instead of taking time to actually be in the gym. If you paying for collabs, you basically trying to skip the process. Paying for collabs is really just trying to skip the process of actually building your brand and getting good at what you do. Because one thing that I can tell you for sure, if you actually dedicated to what you do and you always getting better, people are going to work with you. You're not going to have to pay them. Like, the same people you might have thought that you had to pay to work with, they'll end up hitting you up because you actually making noise in what you're doing, because you've been on your grind doing what you're supposed to do. And then a lot of times too, when people are so thirsty to work, they'll belittle their work. So for example, somebody upcoming, they might DM me and say, let's collab and I'll give you a higher percentage. But that's really just belittling their own work, because why are you starting off trying to put me over you? Like, you don't have to make yourself feel like you less than just to get people to want to work with you. And me personally, I believe in even splits. And honestly, even if somebody is offering me like, oh, you get 60% and I'll take 40 if we collab, I won't even be as interested because I don't need to do that. Like, I really make majority of my beats solo. I make all of my loops by myself solo. So it's like, I don't even need to go do all that. Like, that's what I mean by somebody doing something that's unnecessary. Like, somebody is starting off trying to put their self-worth up under me, and the whole time is like, I don't even need to use whatever they're offering because I already make most of my stuff solo. And plus, the little time that I do collab with somebody, it's gonna be because they actually are and we actually got a relationship. It's not gonna be because I'm getting a higher percentage. Like, it don't really make sense. You don't have to do all that. And that'll be like the same way with relationships. Like, if a girl was overly thirsty and doing the most trying to get your attention, like, would you really be as interested, or would you rather have somebody where it's a little harder to get or it's more of a challenge? Like, if a girl was blowing my phone up all the time, that'll be a turn off. You actually repel the things that you chasing. So instead of chasing, it's better to attract the things that you want. It's never good to come off thirsty. I feel like a better way to be, instead of being thirsty to work with people, you should be hungry and dedicated. And the difference between being thirsty and hungry is that when you hungry, you willing to put in the work and do what it takes. But when you thirsty, that's when you willing to put morals aside and you willing to do anything, even if it's negative and completely wrong, to try to get somewhere. And really all of that just connects to the bigger picture of knowing your worth. I don't care where you at in your career. It's important to know your self-worth, because if you don't, then people that may be on a higher level than you now, they're gonna take advantage of it. A label will be quick to sign an artist that's thirsty to get in the game, but then when they look up down the line, they'll see that they don't own majority of their music. And even when it comes to producers being thirsty sometimes, I done seen some DMs where artists, they'll be like, they'll charge a certain amount just to rap on your beat. And I'm like, that's backwards. Like, anybody that would go for that, like, you're crazy. Like, the whole point of making beats is to make money. Why would you pay somebody to rap on your beat? Like, the whole point of making beats is to actually get paid off of it. Like, that's backwards. Why would you be paying somebody to rap on your beat? I shouldn't even have to explain it. You're paying somebody to rap on your beat. You defeating the whole point of making beats in the beginning. And honestly, when it comes to music, you really only need one beat. Like, you really only need one beat or one song to change your life, because you will always get paid off it. Like, your kids will eat off your royalties even when you're not here. So I feel like if somebody paying artists to rap on their beats, that's a perfect example of being way too thirsty, because this backwards. I feel like anybody with common sense should be able to tell that if a rapper is charging you to rap on their beats, they probably just making a play. Like, that's just a play, like quick money. Like, they probably might not even drop it. And if they charging to rap on your beats, then it's probably not gonna do that many numbers anyway. They probably might have made more money off a producer paying to rap on the beat than the actual song. And the most important thing that I think that you should know is that the goal is to make people want to work with you. Like me, for example. Of course, when I came up, it was plenty of people that I DM and it was plenty of people that didn't respond. But then later, as I started making noise, more people started reaching back, and then more people even hit me up first. So it's like you have to actually build your brand and make people want to work with you. Like, I done got so many DMs where somebody asking me, oh, what I gotta do to, you know, try to get to this level and that. But then I go to their page and it's like, it's nothing there. So it's like, why would somebody even want to work with you or even really respond to you? Like, you don't have nothing on your page. Like, your page look like a bot. So I feel like it's a lot of simple ethics that people might skip or try to go past. Like, I done got so many DMs from artists asking me, oh, what I need to do to try to get my music out there. But then when I go to their page, they don't even have their music posted. And then back when it comes to producers, sometimes people ask me if I want to take credit for their work, you know, like put my tag on there and then take a percentage, you know, like for sending it out. And I just be like, huh? Because it's like, I'm really a producer. Like, I literally cook up on my YouTube every day. Like, I'm a real musician. I actually have passion for what I do. So why would I want to take somebody else's work and just take credit for it? Like, I have nothing to gain from that. I'm not against people who do that. I'm just saying that's not what I do. Like, I'm a real musician, so I don't understand why anybody would ask me to take credit for their work and just send it out. Like, we can collab probably, you know, if you hard and we got a relationship. I don't really care just to take credit for your stuff. That's not really my thing. And then another thing you have to realize too is that just because a big name is on the beat, it doesn't just mean that it's gonna get placed. I done collab with plenty of big producers, but just because it's a big name on the beat, it doesn't always mean it's gonna get placed. And I feel like a lot of upcoming people need to realize that. Like, I feel like if they take the time to realize that, then they'll think before buying a collab. Like, you have to realize it's so many factors that comes into whether or not a song drops. Like, for YoungBoy last album, Master, he recorded like 96 songs in 38 days. So that's how it is with most artists. They making so many songs. So it doesn't really matter you paying for one collab. So you just gotta think, if artists making so many songs, what is you paying for one collab go do when it comes to actually getting a drop? If you really want to start getting placements, the better thing for you to do is being consistent. Because if you consistent, then you got a way higher chance of getting a drop with that artist. If you being consistent, collabing with all the different producers that the artist works with, then you got a way higher chance than just paying for one collab. Because rappers make so many songs for an album majority of the time. So let's just say a hypothetical scenario. You paid $300 for a collab and the little chance that it do get placed. Let's say it did get placed. And then now it comes time for the album drop. Now they gotta pick through so many songs to make the album. And you done already paid for a collab, but your song don't get picked. So it's like, you done just paid money like for what? It's not really as simple as that. We gotta stop trying to cut so many corners and go around doing the work. And I'm not against anybody selling collabs. I'm just giving my realistic perspective of like how things really go. And then another thing too, I strongly feel like anything that's truly meant for you is gonna come your way anyway. So there's no reason to be trying to rush anything, because everything that's truly meant for you is gonna come your way if you actually put in the work to get it. Like, I might have had people where they didn't want to work in the beginning, and then once I started getting placements and making noise, they wanted to collab. But in a case like that, you don't have to have pride. Like, you should still work with people because the opportunity is the opportunity. So even if somebody didn't want to work with you in the beginning, there's really no offense to be taken, because sometimes you really just got to put in the work to get people to notice you. And if you're really dedicated, you can really create your own motion. Instead of being so thirsty to work with everybody, you can create your own lane. And the way that you go about that is by putting yourself in the people's face where they don't have no choice but to see you. So to do that, you can utilize Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, all type of platforms, whether you're a producer or artist, to really get yourself out there. But the truth is, a lot of people really just not gonna want to put in the work. So that's why they think they can cut corners by paying $200, $300 for a collab, or either probably $500 for somebody to rap on their beat. And then most importantly, you never want to come off thirsty when it comes to business. I'm starting to see so many cases where people starting to take bad deals and getting into bad situations because they was thirsty. And you definitely see that case a lot when it comes to people signing publishing deals. A lot of times people might be thirsty to get a publishing deal because it was a decent size advance, but then later down the line, they see how the deal wasn't really in their favor. And I actually spoke with somebody else pretty big that I'm cool with recently, and they was letting me know because they actually in an admin deal, and they was saying that most of the time pretty much all deals really aren't in your favor for the most part. So you never want to come off thirsty in that case, because you for sure finna get played if you coming off as thirsty. The whole goal at the end of the day, regardless of what you're doing, is to have leverage. You never want to come off thirsty like you really need someone. Because you got to think, if you come into a label thirsty, then they go see that and be like, oh, we can give him any type of deal because he really need us. He really need that $40, $50 advance. And the whole time, they probably finna make 5 or 10 times more off of you. So that's really just the logistics of how it really go. When you actually take the time to build yourself up to have leverage, that's when you're able to get a way better deal in any case. And that's it for today's video. If I was able to bring you any value from this video, then like and subscribe, and let me know what you want to see next in the comments. I'm out. Stay blessed and stay positive, JB.